Wow, dude. You got jumps. And then there's this guy.
No, this one. No.
Okay, hold up. Good boy.
Here you go. How's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
I haven't a job in the world and I'm completely unstressed and just doing whatever my heart desires.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And your heart desires a 32-ounce cup of coffee?
Yeah, today it did.
I have a feeling it won't desire it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. I always talk about needing a massage, and there's a massage place a foot away from our house.
Is it the good kind of massage, or is it the weird kind of massage place?
Depends on what you consider good and weird.
Is it like a brothel massage?
I've never been there.
Okay.
Never had a massage in my life.
At a brothel?
Anywhere. What's your head?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. You're different. But you go to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
Do you have backache still?
Yeah. So I wanted to work on Mittens a little more today. I really wanted to get things put back together as far as like the engine goes and everything like that, but I do have a bit of an issue. So let me show you what's going on. So my original plan was to get the engine harness in the car. That would allow us to put the other items on top of it and then start routing on the fuel lines and other items like that. But as I was looking over this harness, which is the one that came out of this car about not 6 months ago, however long that was, maybe it was 6 months ago, I noticed a couple of things that were really weird. First thing, not really weird, pretty common. A lot of these connectors are like completely broken and just messed up in multiple ways. There's maybe 5 or 6 connectors on this whole thing that are completely messed up and would have to be replaced. That's not a huge deal. I was like, we can just hit up iWire and, get the connectors and go through, depin them or cut them and splice them, do whatever we need to make that work. But then as we were checking things over, just kind of test fitting this in there and routing it, noticed that I didn't have a TGV connector on bank 2. I just had the 2-pin, and where there should have been a TGV connector, there was nothing. This just went straight up the loom back in here. And this was all wrapped up and loomed. So we're like, what the hell is going on right now? So we checked, and obviously this is a 2-pin. It has 2 wires going to it. No big deal there, nothing weird or out of the ordinary. But as we opened up the loom at the bottom, we actually had 5 wires all wrapped up. So pull those out, and there's our 3 wires that should have been going to a TGV, but are cut and go to nothing. So that brings up a bunch of other questions that are really weird, like why didn't this car have a TGV code or anything? No idea if somebody did like a backyard special or something weird with that to begin with, but completely odd. I have no idea. We obviously didn't do that, so they're just missing. So with finding that, I was like, I'm not gonna even mess with this harness, because if that's messed up, who's to say there's not something up any of these other lines that might be messed up as well. So I got a new harness coming that should be here in a couple of days, and then I have a few other parts and those should be here in a couple of days as well. So we'll start working on that once those come in, but I do have other things I can do for now. So instead of messing with anything with the engine today, the car is obviously going to make more power than stock would, and in doing that, it's going to need more fuel than stock would. So I do have a 340 liter per hour pump from AEM here. That's good with E85 or pump gas, so that works out really well. And then I do have a kit that is something a lot of people overlook when they're doing their fuel system. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit with you, and then we're gonna go about installing that, which looks kind of scary. Wiring's not really my thing, so I don't know how long this will take me, but it's something that is kind of needed anytime you're going to a pump that's going to require more power, and that's going to be a good Hardwire kit. So for the Hardwire kit, we actually went with the full kit from iWire. They make amazing kits for doing this, and it covers everything like connecting to the original fuel pump control module and being able to up ramp that to the higher voltage. What you have to understand is, depending on if you have a Legacy, Forester XT, if you have an STI, they all have, well, they don't all have different fuel pump controllers, but they make a couple of different ones. So the highest output ones that they have are in the STIs, and I think those only put out like 12 something. So even with that, you're still below where you want to be to run this pump. This pump calls for 13.5 at, I believe, 10 amps. The stock system, even in the STI, is not going to put out the juice to run that pump to its fullest. And when a pump is not being ran at the voltage that it wants to see, what it's going to do is it's not going to output the liters per hour that it wants to, and you're going to get that dropout. That'll be most prevalent at high RPM on watt poles, and it's going to screw you up. It can potentially screw the car up, cause it to run lean, or it can screw your tuner up because your tuner is going to be trying to map everything around that. And when he's trying to make the map and it is cutting voltage up top, you're going to randomly be losing fuel. And then you're going to be like, what the heck, dude? I should be making like 450 horsepower, when what's happening is it's dropping up top and you're actually not getting that fuel needed to make that power. And then the other thing that this is going to do is utilize the factory fuel pump control module. And in doing that, we'll still have the low, mid, high, the 33, 66, and 99% duty cycles. So your car is not going to be running at 100% all the time. And that's going to make things a lot nicer for city driving, for idling, and for all the normal stuff. But before I started installing those, I did steal more parts off of Chewy. I took the battery, the small battery out of it, and the Melee battery box out of those, which actually has 2 holes on it to be able to put the little terminal that iWire provides with the Hardwire kit. So I was like, oh, I'm not using these anytime soon. I can always buy another for Chewy when that car gets back up and running. So for now, we're gonna snag those for Mittens and put those in the car. I'm really hoping that the time lapse made that look a lot easier than it actually was. So they normally supply these with a little piece of wire to hold the lower guy in there. But since this came off of my Outback, I didn't have that wire anymore. So I was having to like jam my hand up into there to try and fish that around. And I probably dropped it like 5 or 6 times, but we got that in now. So that all looks good. It has a spot right here to nicely put the little terminal that iWire gives you. So that'll work out great on that. Now I'm gonna pull the fuel hanger out of the car, and then we're going to pull the stock fuel pump out of there and get our 340 in there. And then we can go about doing the fun part. That's gonna be this iWire install that looks really kind of intimidating. So we'll go about that, and then from there we'll figure things out. The fuel hanger is back in the car with the new fuel pump in it. One thing that made this a little annoying, the fuel tank was completely full. So we just had to get some of it out so it would stop spilling over onto the ground. But now it's all gone, so we're all good. I'm gonna start tearing apart the back of the car so that I can run all the wiring and everything back there to the fuel pump controller. I believe it's on the driver's side in the wagon. On most of the other cars, it's gonna be on the passenger side. So I'm pretty sure it's over here. If it's not, I'm gonna find out, and you'll probably see me get really pissed off. Words cannot explain how happy I am that it was actually on the side. Because, oh my God, wagons, you gotta take a lot of shit apart, man. You gotta take a lot of shit apart for this. Look at this car. I don't even know if I've ever taken these side panels off in the wagons before. A lot of layers. Kind of like those s'mores. So there is our fuel pump control module. And that was tucked nicely back here on the driver's side. So there we go. I just got to run the jumper and everything and plug it all in and run it up front and do a whole bunch of other stuff and be here for like hours, and then we're done. You guys can't tell, my car's still taken apart. So it's been like 5 hours, and then I realized I needed to read the fucking manual because I don't know what I'm doing. And then I was like, hey, I should probably just like make a how-to or something on how to do this once I read the fucking manual. So I went and watched a video on it, and now I actually have some understanding, and I realized that I messed something up and I have to take the fuel pump back out. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna try and actually get videos back to back. So I'm gonna do a part 1 and part 2 on this. And I think I wanna do the second part a little differently now that I understand what I'm doing. and actually kind of walk through what you need to do to install this kit, because there's a couple of different variants of this kit, and depending on what part or what car you have, if you're doing the stud kit or not, they send you different stuff for it. So I did the stud kit, and if I included the bypass stud kit in their kit that they send you, I need to use them, and I didn't. So I need to take back out the pump tomorrow and then get in and install those studs, and then follow through with installing this kit. So for the time being, the car is going to stay completely disassembled like this, where it looks like just a tornado went through the inside of it. And on that note, if you like this video, hit the like button, or don't. And word of the day is going to be yoink. So I'll see you later.